Dr. Mindy here, and welcome to my station. If you're new to me, I want to start off by just saying you are right smack dab in the middle of a fast training week. That's what this video is a part of. 5 days every month, we as a community come together and try out different fasts, and I teach different principles. This week, we are teaching how to use fasting to balance your hormones. So let me just start off by saying welcome, subscribe, hit the notification button, and as always, those of you that share this video out into the world, I'm just super grateful. I am a woman on a mission to get people healthy. I want to get 1 million people this year adopting the fasting lifestyle, because this is where we are immune strong, we are happy, we are healthy, and we balance our hormones. So welcome. Okay, on this video, I'm going to go through 3 key things when it comes to stress, and I want you to pay close attention, because if you're concerned about stress and fasting, that tells me that you're probably overstressed. It's the fact that you maybe even clicked on the video. It tells me that I'm a little worried because stress is high, and I've heard I shouldn't fast if stress is high. So if that's you, sit tight. I've got answers for you. So the first thing I want you to realize is that there is good stress and there is bad stress. So a bad stress is the stress that keeps coming over and over and over again. One of my favorite theories or teachings on stress is something called the polyvagal theory. And the polyvagal theory is that our nervous systems were meant to click in and out of states of stress. We have to go into stress and then come out of stress. And what's happening to us, because we've had so much physical, emotional, and chemical stress, is that we are now moving to another level of stress. And this is especially true from 2020. We're moving into a whole nother level of stress called your freeze mode, where we've become numb, we're prone to addiction, we're withdrawing. This is not the best place for us to be. If you are in a chronic state of stress, I'm going to give you some advice here on how you can use fasting, but in a very specific way. Now, if you're not in a chronic state of stress, there is a very good stress. And this stress is called a hormetic stress. And our cells do really well with hormetic stress. In fact, I want to share with you a story of something I learned over this last weekend. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about how the brain, the neurons in our brain actually grow so that we can learn more. And the number one way that we learn more is by failure. So think about that. When we fail at something and we keep trying to do it over and over and over again, and we're frustrated, that's where we're growing new neurons and we're actually able to learn more. So same thing with your cells. If you are fasting and you don't have an enormous amount of stress in your life, and you're just doing short bouts of fasting, you are creating a hormetic stress, and you are forcing those cells to be better, which is amazing. So a hormetic stress is good. A chronic freeze where you are in freeze mode is bad. So there's a good stress and bad stress. Second thing I want to talk about is, okay, let's put you guys in these 2 camps. We've got the I'm sort of stressed person, and we've got the person that's like numb and overly stressed. Let's start with this camp. If you are numb and overly stressed, I'm going to encourage you to just fast for 13 to 15 hours. Just get efficient at that. Don't try all the other fasts that I teach here on my channel. Just get really solid and enjoying intermittent fasting. You'll see those of you who are joining us this week in Fast Training Week, the rules for the day is that you just push yourself 1 hour past what you normally do. That is a gentle hormetic stress, and it can actually kick you out of that freeze place. It can be very beneficial for you. Those of you that are adrenal fatigued, we love hormetic stresses for adrenal fatigue. It just is enough stress to snap you out of it. So stay with intermittent fasting. For those of you who aren't stress comes and goes, you feel like you've managed stress pretty well, then you can go into deeper stress, deeper fasts. And on this day, what I want you to do is try to push it to 24 hours if you can. Let's get you to do a 24-hour fast. If you have just pretty manageable stress levels, you could do a 3-day water fast. You can do all the fasts I teach here. When it comes to stress, you got to evaluate, is my life super stressful? And okay, let me match my fast according to what I'm experiencing in my life. The worst scenario is somebody who's overly stressed out, working out all the time, which is also a hormetic stress, and then throws in a 48-hour fast. That is where you start tanking the other hormones. This is where you really can put yourself in a dangerous place. So if you feel like stress is manageable, you can go deeper. If you're really struggling with stress right now, just give yourself some grace and stay with the intermittent fast. Okay, the third piece here that's really key for you guys that know that stress is an issue. You've got to use variation. You can't fast the same way over and over and over again. So perhaps you fall in that kind of middle camp where you're like, yeah, the pandemic sort of threw me off. I have more stress than I really should. I do really well with intermittent fasting, so I'd like to do a little more, but I don't want to go super long into a 48-hour or a 72-hour fast. If that is you, you got to do some variation. The two variations I like best for stress is a 5-1-1. This is kind of my go-to, where 5 days a week you do intermittent fasting, 1 day a week you do a longer fast, 24 hours fast, 1 day a week you don't fast. Maybe if you know that you're prone to stress, maybe you only do that 1 day you go 17 hours. You're just pushing yourself a little bit. So that would be a really good variation to start to incorporate if you know stress is high. If you are a post-menopausal woman or a woman over 40 and your progesterone levels are really going down, I want to encourage you to do the 4-2-1. And I did a whole video on it. Go find the video. It says, the title of it is for women over 40. I also recommend the Menopause Reset is out in print, so you can pre-order it now. Just put Menopause Reset in the link, and we'll send you a link where you can pre-order it, and we'll send you the digital copy right away, so you don't have to wait for the book to arrive. If you're like me, I'm a bit impatient. I get excited about something, I want the book now. So the print book will come after April 6th, and you can get the digital copy now. So in the book, in here, over 40, here's the challenge that we have, is that when we get past 40, especially for women, is that we're more sensitive to stress. So it's easier to tank those sex hormones. And so you've got to do more of a 4-2-1 variation, which is why I did a whole separate video for you. So go watch that. Okay, last couple things. If this is intriguing to you and you're like, okay, I just know my life is stressful, it's never gonna not be stressful, but I wanna fast, then I wanna give you some more resources. So the next thing I would tell you is I have a podcast. Did you know I have a podcast? It's called the Resetter Podcast. I have some amazing guests on there, and one of them is a hormone expert. Her name is Dr. Carrie Jones, and she goes over all different types of hormones, and we talk about fasting and hormones. We had an incredible conversation. It came out this week. So just go to the Resetter Podcast on iTunes, and you can find that interview. Second thing, if you're like, your eyes are rolling back, you're like, oh my God, I just wanted to learn a little bit of fasting, and I just landed on this crazy woman's channel, and she's going really deep, and I don't know what she's talking about. If you've lasted this long in the video, I want to applaud you, but we have a companion guide. We write all of these videos out. We put them into an ebook. It's beautiful. It's easy to read. It's free. Just put companion guide, and we'll send that to you. Now, for those of you who've been with me a while and you love this information and you want to experiment with it, now might be the right time for you to join one of our resets. We're doing our Forever Immune Reset next week. And it's an experience where I take you through 19 days of different eating styles, different food, fasting styles. And there's like an 80-page ebook. I've got, I don't even know how many videos now, 20, 30 videos you've never seen here. I take you day by day. There's a video. It's a really cool experience with a really cool community. It's perfect for fat burning, perfect for immune system, perfect for anti-aging. So just put Forever Immune in your comments, and I'll make sure you get a link to that. And I think that's about all. The last thing I want to tell you is there's a lot to this. So just hang in there with me. Let's grow some neurons together. So if you are confused, you feel like I'm speaking a different language, great. Hang in there. Stay in the frustration moment, because that's where you're going to grow new neurons in your brain. Try this stuff out this week. Try the different fasts out that I'm showing you. Go to my community page here, and you can see that I have a square outlining each one of the fasts. The companion guide outlines it. Hang in here with this material, the material and the concepts, because you're a miracle and you've just never been taught how miraculous you are. So this is what this week is about doing, is giving you the power back. Knowledge is power, fasting is power. You tap into a whole healing set you didn't even know you had. So as always, I hope that helps.